I've been around since the beginning of time. I'm not going to go for that here. That's what's happening.
You're not going for it?
I'm not going for it. No. But we've had a very, very strong negotiation. Now, by the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work?
Micah.
And who else?
You.
Hello. There's not room for a third. There's not room for a third.
There's not room for a third. Cece, earlier in the show, I posed the question to you. This is obviously about Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, and the financials, but it does seem like there's something a little bit more when it comes to the agent, David Mulugheta. Now, for those who don't remember, David Mulugheta is the agent behind the Deshaun Watson deal. $230 million guaranteed with the Cleveland Browns that obviously NFL owners did not like. That changed the landscape of deals in a lot of ways. Doesn't it feel like Jerry Jones is specifically saying, David Mulugheta, you're not going to get that done with me.
Yeah.
You may have been able to fleece the Haslams and the Cleveland Browns. I'm not budging. You think you're smarter and better and more powerful than owners in this league? Well, now you're dealing with me. You're dealing with Jerry Jones. And let's not forget, when Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons met back in March of 2025, Micah Parsons says he met with Jerry Jones to talk about leadership. He didn't enter that conversation, think he was sitting down talking about a contract. He didn't think he was entering negotiations. He said that during that meeting, then Jerry Jones started talking to him about a new contract. Micah, this is his boss, of course, engaged in that conversation, but he didn't think that this is my contract negotiation. We're going to sign it today. And I think Jerry's upset that he's not getting to do this his way.
Yeah, David Mulugheta is representative of a new generation of athletes that have embraced player empowerment. And Jerry Jones, in these rants regarding the Parsons contract negotiation, is raging against that, right? The NFL owners are terrified of players in their sport being empowered like players in the NBA are. And if we're keeping it a buck, that's what NFL players are looking at, that model where players can be more on the level with ownership or governorship. That's what it comes down to. And Jerry Jones, representing the old guard in the NFL, is doing his best to tamp that down. And he's using the Micah Parsons negotiation as the vehicle to send a message to not only David Mulugheta, but to everyone across the National Football League, that the owners are the ones that are still in charge. It frustrates me to no end that Jerry Jones is fighting this fight in the interest of placism. To be clear, this is not about Jerry Jones trying to preserve cap space for the Dallas Cowboys to be able to add quality depth to help this year's team try to contend at a higher level. This is not that. This is all about principle. It's not about anything else. It's not about trying to do what's in the best interest of your football team. It's about being able to exert your leverage, your power as owner, and bully a 26-year-old. That's what's happening. And it baffles me how Jerry Jones is trying to use his media tour for his Netflix documentary to sway the court of public opinion in his favor. Shame on him. He should know better. Matter of fact, he does know better. Here's the problem. He just doesn't care. And that's disgusting.
I hate to frame it this way because Micah Parsons is going to make a lot of money whenever he signs his new deal. But doesn't it feel like he's almost being used in this in a way? If this is Jerry Jones wanting to exert himself, if he's saying, I'm still at the top of the food chain, not only with the Dallas Cowboys, but with the NFL, and I'm the old guard that's not going to let player empowerment get to where it is in the NBA, I'm going to be the one to take a stop to this, then it's not about Micah. It's not about you and this specific player and this contract negotiation.
Let me say this, because I think that's a part of the conversation that a lot of people can't seem to get past, is the fact that Micah is going to have generational wealth. They can't gloss over that. Oh, man, this guy's going to make $40 million a year. I can't even dream of making $40 million for my entire lifetime. That's going to be hard for a lot of people to overcome. So that's why it's hard to see Micah as a victim in all of this or somebody that's being taken advantage of. I would just say this. When it comes to how this negotiation has played out in such a public fashion, Jerry Jones has challenged the character of Micah Parsons. He said that they negotiated a contract and that Micah is trying to go back on his word or go back on the terms that have previously been negotiated. Clearly, Micah and his agent, David Mulligetta, don't feel like the contract was negotiated. So I don't know about anybody else, but when another grown man that I happen to work for in building his business calls me a liar after what I put my body through, we're going to have a damn problem. And that's why Micah Parsons sent the goodbye and the trade request to Stephen Jones weeks ago. That's why Micah Parsons last night took down the Dallas Cowboys stuff off his social media pages. He's insulted, and he should be. Because the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, essentially the face of the NFL, just called him out a liar. He said, yeah, I told him it was going to be one way. Then he went to mommy to try to see if we could do something else. And he's like, I ain't going for that. He basically called Micah Parsons a child in the analogy that he used.
I don't think it's basically. That's exactly what he's suggesting.
I'm a grown man out here working to make you money. Now, I'm trying to make myself some money, but the money that I make pales in comparison to you. You know how I know that? Because you about to write me the damn check. I get disgusted when people of privilege and people of means and people in powerful positions try to bully folks that are not on their level. I get disgusted when people try to punch down on people. That's what everybody in America needs to know about what's happening with the Dallas Cowboys negotiation with Micah Parsons. This is Jerry Jones punching down on the best player on his football team.
And my question is, why? What does this have to? So everything you're describing, and you're dead on. None of this is about football.
None of it is about football. None of it.
We're talking about ego. We're talking about power. We're talking about control.
Smalls. You asked the question, why? Do you really want to know the answer?
I definitely do, yeah.
Because he feels like he can. It doesn't have to be any more than that. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that. He's doing it because he feels like he can, because he's Jerry Jones, because he's got a $15 billion business, because he flipped a $150 million investment into the phenomenon that is the Dallas Cowboys as we know them today. Because he is the, quote, gambler in his Cowboy. That's why he's the Dallas Cowboys. That's why he's doing it, because he feels like he can. And he's trying to do it on the behalf or at the behest of all the other owners in the National Football League. Guys, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that this is our league. It doesn't belong to the players, and it doesn't belong to the agents that represents the players. We run the league. And I'm going to show Micah and I'm going to show his agent, David Mulligetta, while pretending to not know his name and to pretending that he didn't negotiate the Deshaun Watson deal, which we were all disgusted by. That's what's happening right here.
The agent.
It's, for lack of a better term,
he just says the agent.
For lack of a better term, it's placism, and I hate it.
Well, the gambler and his Cowboys is one thing, but you know what? You don't always win. And Jerry Jones has won all the time. Is this the time that he doesn't? Or do you think we're going to see Micah Parsons out there, maybe not playing entirely, but do you think it's done before week 1 versus the Eagles? Or do you think this time's different?
Well,
he finally loses the bet.
Here's the fascinating part of all of it, Smalls. He's already won.
Because we're talking about him?
Whether he signs Micah Parsons or we don't, he's already won. He's already won. He's gotten the attention. He's got the focus on all of them. We've got Get Up. We've got First Take on in our studio. Guess what's on right now? The Dallas Cowboys.
They're talking about wins. They're talking about over-under on wins.
He's already won. We're talking about his team.
Yeah.
He's already won.
Well, let's take a call. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. Josh, listening on 99.1 in Florida, joins us. Josh, what do you have to say?
Hey, guys, I enjoy your show, but the gentleman that's talking about this negotiation is so out of touch. It frustrates me. And now, I've never played in the NFL, man, but the owner has a right to do whatever he wants to do. He's the one that put up the initial money to buy the team, to run the program. And this gentleman here, whoever, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. He's talking about,
I'm Chris
ownership.
My name is Chris Canny. Played over a decade in the NFL. Won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. So that's who you're talking to.
Okay.
So okay.
I apologize.
All right. Go ahead.
This player ownership, this whole socialistic idea that we can have some kind of more control, I don't get it, because I own a business. I put blood, sweat, and tears into my business and invest in my business to make it work, and I pay my employees well. And you know what? If they don't want to continue to work, then they can start their own business.
But hold on, Michael. Hold on. But Michael Parsons can't go and work for another business. That's the difference, okay? So I see what you're trying to do in comparing your business to the NFL. It's not that, okay? And I'm a business owner too. I got employees too. I can tell you, as a part of being in the NFL, it is not the same. So do yourself a favor and don't try to compare it to that. That's first, because Michael Parsons cannot contractually go to work for another business. He can't. That's against the NFL rules. All right? And if you want to play football in this country at the highest level and monetize your ability, there's only one shop in town. It's the NFL.
Also, Josh, and thank you for the call, Josh, are you disrespecting your employees and the people that they may have brought along to help them with their business publicly?
Are you calling your employees a liar publicly? No,
because
you're not.
I understand some people thinking about strictly he's the owner, this is how he chooses to operate, etc. But it's so far beyond that. It is so far beyond that.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. It ain't slavery, y'all. It ain't sharecropping. The owner can have a contract out there, and if Michael Parsons don't want to play on the contract that the owner has, it's his right not to play. The only leverage that a player has is to withhold services, just like the only leverage an employee has in a business is to say, I'm not going to work for you. Mm-hmm. That's the only leverage he has, and that's what he's choosing to do. What I don't understand is why Jerry Jones, every time somebody sticks a camera or a microphone in his space, has something disrespectful to say about a guy that has done nothing but produce for you. He's the best player on your team. That's like the Josh from Florida disrespecting the most productive employee that he has by calling the guy a liar. That doesn't make sense. Normal people don't do that.
No, they definitely do.
But folks that have ego, folks that have hubris, they do things like that. And that's why I feel like when it comes to Jerry Jones and the football operation, the NFL has passed him by.
That's Super Bowl champion Chris Canny here on Unsportsmanlike. Great stuff from CC. And the phone lines are lighting up. People reacting to that clip that we just heard of Jerry Jones on with Stephen A. Smith. We're going to take your calls on Unsportsmanlike next. We're presented by Progressive Insurance.
Hey, what's up? I'm Randy Scott. Coming up on SC Plus on Disney Plus. Jackson Dart has something happen in his NFL young career that never happened in college. We'll show you the festivities from MetLife. Plus, they say men think about the Roman Empire once a day. Why the Yankees will think about Roman Anthony for a decade to come. That and much more. SC Plus on Disney Plus.
You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it.
We are not going to stop chasing a dream. We can't.
Look up not giving up in the dictionary. A picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
You're stronger.
My dad would be so thankful for all of the lives that have been saved.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get more than you expect for breakfast. Like buy a sausage burrito and add a sausage McMuffin for $1. Because a late-night double shift deserves an early morning deal. Get more than you expect with McValue.
Here you leave today and enter
A world of galaxies.
A world of speed.
A world of other worlds.
for whatever you love. Infinite worlds await.
Dove Men Plus Care Whole Body DO protects you everywhere. Here, when you're there. There, when you're here. Even down there. Dove Men Whole Body DO. Care that goes everywhere. Everywhere.
This Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has wavy edges.
It's no ordinary square. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has wavy perforations that tear so much better, with more cushiony softness. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Looking for a reason to try the $5 McChicken meal deal with McValue? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the $5 McChicken meal deal with McValue.
Welcome to the show, turning heads and shattering record books. It's on here! Lighting up radars and delivering jaw-dropping moments. He caught it! Wow, he made that look easy.
This atmosphere is awesome. This is what you play for, man.
Red Sox, Yankees. Yankee Stadium hosts the rivalry on Sunday Night Baseball. Sunday on ESPN.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike.
We've had a very, very strong negotiation. Now, by the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work? And who else? You. Hello. There's not room for a third. There's not room for a third.
Jerry Jones not wanting a menage a trois negotiation. There is not room for a third, says Jerry. And that was on the Stephen A. Smith Show, an excerpt of the interview. It's going to drop later today. Cece, the phone lines have absolutely exploded.
Let's go.
After we played that clip from Stephen A. and Jerry Jones. So let's get right to it. Dan, listening on 97.3 in Philly, joins us here on Unsportsmanlike. Dan, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. What do you have to say?
Hey, great show. I love you guys. Total respect, Chris. Even though you downed my Eagles all last year, we're over it. But listen, two things. Jerry Jones, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. The guy's a pompous, you know what, and he's never going to get over that. And you say he won already, and he probably did, but this is going to hurt him in the future, okay? Definitely going to hurt him in the future, right? And also, one thing I want to factor in, the man does have a contract right now. I get it. He's worth more money and all that, but I don't see people renegotiating when guys underperform. These guys, it's today's society. They want their money now.
Dan, Dan, hold on one second. You said you don't see guys renegotiating when they don't perform. That happens all the time in the NFL. Teams go to guys and force them to take pay cuts, or they just cut them outright. So when it comes to the whole contract bit, you have a contract, you need to honor the contract. Why should the players honor the contract when the teams don't honor the contract? The team can cut a player at any point for any reason. So the contracts are not worth the paper that they're printed on. So why are we going to hold the players to some impossible standard that we don't hold the owners to? That makes no sense to me. One-way loyalty is stupidity. And that's what fans are starting to ask Micah to do because he's got a quote-unquote contract with Jerry Jones.
Let's go to Trevor, who's listening on Sirius XM in Nebraska. Trevor, thanks for joining the show. What do you have to say?
Thanks, and I appreciate what Chris just said, but what about the guaranteed money? Doesn't Deshaun Watson get paid? Doesn't Russell Wilson get paid after getting cut? I'm misunderstanding the contract and the guaranteed money, apparently.
Well, without getting too far in the weeds, Deshaun Watson has the only I think he's got one of the few only fully guaranteed contracts in NFL history. And if you remember, the owners took issue with the Cleveland Browns and Jimmy Haslam giving Deshaun Watson said contract. It ended up being a big sticking point in the Lamar Jackson negotiations. No other quarterbacks have gotten fully guaranteed contracts from that point on. And so I do think that that is a part of the math and why Jerry Jones is handling Micah Parsons this way, because Micah's agent happens to be the same man that negotiated the Deshaun Watson contract with the Cleveland Browns.
You're not going to do that to me, says Jerry.
Yeah.
Man, interesting. All right, Cole, listening on Sirius XM in Tennessee. Cole, what do you have for us?
The players represent a commodity, just like gasoline, just like any essential product that everybody has to buy. The price goes up with inflation. Pay the man if you want him on your team. If you want to remove the cap for the owners, I know they won't do that, but look, you want to put the best team out there, you pay the best players, you pay for premium product.
Cole, I'm glad you made that point, because I think that's one of the things that a lot of folks are missing, because people are comparing Micah Parsons to their walks of life and their respective industries and what they do for a living. The NFL is unique in that the players, the employees, are the actual product.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if the employees are making something. The employee is the product. People are showing up to see the players. They're not showing up to see the widgets that the players are making for the cars. They're showing up to see the actual players. And so that's what makes the dynamic different. And then, of course, Micah Parsons is the best in the world at what he does. There are 8 billion people on the face of the planet Earth, and nobody rushes the passer better than Micah Parsons. Think about that. If you're the best in the world, if there's no one better on the face of the planet at doing what you do, don't you think that you deserve a little more respect from the owner that you're employed by? Don't you think you deserve a little more respect for the company that you're working for? Because I do.
I do too. And you'd have so much power and leverage if you were the best in the world at anything else. At anything else. Scotty, listening on Sirius XM in Vegas, joins us here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. Scotty, whose side are you on, Jerry Jones or Micah Parsons?
You guys, I'm on neither side, right? I'm not a Cowboy fan, but if any team has turmoil, I soak it up, right? We can let the Cowboys rule the offseason. They are not playoff potential. They are not Super Bowl potential. You had mentioned power, Michelle, right? So Micah took his stand. I'm holding out. Supposedly there was a pre-negotiated contract, man-to-man, handshake, what have you. But it sounds like the Cowboys are going to stick their feet in the sand and say, okay, now we're drawing the line. So any player besides a quarterback that is held out in contract, I would argue with you, does not have 2 good seasons in them after that point.
That's not true. All you had to do is look at what Emmitt Smith did. He held out, he got paid, the Dallas Cowboys proceeded to go back-to-back championships. That's just not true. So players hold out all the time. If that player is deemed worth it, the owners typically acquiesce. And right now we're getting a lot of bluster from Jerry Jones. But there's another contract offer coming from Jerry Jones. As long as Micah Parsons and his agent have resolve, as long as they're willing to miss games, starting with week 1 at Philadelphia, there's another contract offer that's coming down the pike, because Micah Parsons is the best player on the team. And the Dallas Cowboys will come nowhere close to realizing their potential this year without him on the field.
Let's sneak one more call in here. Laverne in Chicago joins us on Unsportsmanlike. Laverne, what do you got for us?
Hey, good morning, guys. I have an issue with total disrespect to Mr. Chris Canty. He was called the gentleman. Wow. Also, Philadelphia is going to hand Dallas their head if Micah doesn't play. And I'm really hoping that happens, because Jerry Jones needs to be put back in his place. He really does. I mean, Chris, you covered every base on this whole issue. And you know what? Some of these people that never played football don't know generational wealth down the road is going to play a part in this guy's life. And football players go out there every day. Butt heads. We have a problem with giving people their money that work hard, bust their butt, or, whatever. And some people just don't see the whole game plan, the long-range game plan for the players.
Completely agree, Laverne. I think that people don't understand the risk that's involved with playing this game. We heard about concussions. We heard about CTE, the push for player safety and all of those things. But people don't realize the realities of playing in the National Football League. You are mortgaging your long-term future and your longevity for monetary compensation now. That is what's happening. And that's why when players get it to a position where based on performance, they can leverage a financial windfall, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Micah Parsons is right now. He's in the heart of his prime. He has proven himself in this league. 31 teams will pay Micah what he's looking for on a contract if they could. But unfortunately, the one that can pay him wants to bully him because they have an agenda that goes beyond trying to put the best football product on the field.
Great discussions all around on the Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons situation. And again, that interview with Jerry and Stephen A. Smith drops later today on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Well, coming up next, does QB3 have a chance to be QB1? We're going to break it down. But first, Cece has this from ESPN Bet.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting. And this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. You got to be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Jacksonville Jaguars become must-see television. We're flexing into them because you can't miss it.
The 3-time Emmy-nominated Rich Eisen Show.
Awesome. Just a lot of truths being spat right there.
The Rich Eisen Show, returning Tuesday, September 2nd, noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
My scalp needs a little extra love, so I'm trying Head & Shoulders Bare. Welcome to your new scalp. Head & Shoulders Bare helps soothe your scalp and controls itch, dryness, and flakes. All with no sulfates, silicones, or dyes.
Head & Shoulders.
Dove Men Plus Care Whole Body DO protects you everywhere. Here, when you're there. There, when you're here. Even down there. Dove Men Whole Body DO. Care that goes everywhere. Everywhere.
It's the dawn of a new season. Let's go! What a way to start!
The wild world of college football returns.
Big stage, big opportunity.
Go out and make a statement.
Welcome back to college football.
Run fast while you have the chance.
The winner gathers huge momentum.
College football kicks off Labor Day weekend with 6 epic matchups.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get more than you expect for breakfast. Like buy a sausage burrito and add a sausage McMuffin for $1. Because a late-night double shift deserves an early morning deal. Get more than you expect with McValue.
You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it.
We are not going to stop chasing the dream. We can't.
You look up not giving up in the dictionary, a picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
You're stronger.
My dad would be so thankful for all of the lives that have been saved.
Where some saw a pickle, we saw a masterpiece. A Sonic Smasher with Grillo's Pickles and Dilly Ranch, tangy pickle tots, and a Pickle Rita slush with pickle-flavored bubbles. It's called the Big Dill Meal, and it's a work of art.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or